Yes, good day, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the Best Media, where truth walks slow, but it never dies. Today, we're going to talk about two institutions that rules Africa destiny for over 40 years: the IMF and the World Bank, these so-called lenders of last resort. But here's the truth: this shines is gone. Africa is walking away fast, very fast. If you want Africa to rise, subscribe right now. Don't let this truth be buried. After independence, African states were told, come to the IMF, come to the World Bank, we'll help you develop. What did they actually deliver? Loans with austerity strings, cut subsidize, privatize industry, slash social spending. The government was forced to sell national assets to foreign companies. Result: Africa stay poor, dependent, and forever in debt. Example: Ghana in 1980. IMF demand cuts in health, education, generation paid price, and the generation paid the price. Now, these weren't lifeboats, they were strangleholds. They were chains. So why is Africa walking away? Debt traps, fatigue. Countries see the pattern now. The IMF money doesn't solve a problem, it buys obedience. Youth in Ghana, across Kenya, Senegal, youths are rejecting the IMF austerity. We won't sacrifice our future for old men loans. That's what the youths are saying. It's a multipolar world. For the first time in decades, Africa has a choice. Africa choice. Now, Africa is developing its own bank to lend to each other. They can get loans from China or Russia at cheaper rates with no strings attached. For instance, the China Belt and Road Development. China is building railways, dams, port without forcing regime to change or austerity cut. BRICS, the new development bank, loan is in local currency, not just dollars, like the IMF or the World Bank. They only lend you in dollars. You have to pay it back in dollars at high interest. Africa's Inc. Bank plus PAPS. Africa made a solution. Clearing trade in Naira, CD, or the CFA, alternatives to the IMF and the US dollar. And here's the irony, my friends: America and Europe love to lecture Africa about the diplomacy and human rights. But let's be honest, America hasn't even given black people equal rights in their own country of birth. 400 years after slavery, black communities are still fighting police brutality, voters are suppressions of vote, and systematic racism. So, how can Washington tell Africa what freedom looks like when millions of its own citizens still don't live under oppression? That's hypocrisy, plain and simple. There aren't perfect alternatives, but they are alternatives, and alternatives mean freedom. The AES bloc, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, told the IMF, pack up and leave. And France is in trouble. Now, trading security for resource with Russia. So the AES countries got rid of France. France had claimed it was helping with securities, but killing radical groups, the jihadists, got stronger while France was there. Now they're gone. These countries are seeing the light at the tunnel. So my question is, who was really funding these jihadists to keep up these raids? Many countries in Africa is starting to join BRICS. Ethiopia, Egypt, South Africa, just to name a few. And they're getting finances beyond Washington. Grip. Even in Latin America, Argentina, leaders say the IMF is toxic. Proof this isn't just in Africa, it's global. In Ghana and Kenya, you have youths in the street protesting. The IMF is fueling hike and VAT demand. The people are seeing the trapped. So, my people, again, I'm going to ask you, please like this channel and share it so we can grow. Hit the subscribe button and the like button. So let's move on. What is the future without the IMF change? Imagine this. The AES expand to Ghana, Senegal, South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, all joined. They will plug into BRICS and the NMB for infrastructure, roads, and loans. Africa's Bank for Trade and Finance. PAPS, that's PAPSS, for cross-border payments in African currency. Excuse me, not in the dollar, not in euro, but in African currency. Imagine the savings these countries are getting by trading in their own currency and have to buy US exchange your currency for US or euro. This result, the IMF and the World Bank has become irrelevant. I mean irrelevant. Africa is now controlling its mineral, population, and food. The East is providing the market, the capital, and the protection. The West forced to negotiate, not to dictate. Say something here. Look at what's going on today in the United States. The US is panicking. Africans, their cheap source of minerals, is no longer available, mostly. This is the dawn of a multipolar Africa, and Africa no longer begging for permission. Here's the bottom line: the IMF and the World Bank once ruled with debt and fear, but Africa is waking up from the Sahel to Cape to the Cape, from Accra to Addis Ababa. Leaders and youths are turning their backs on the old system, and the West can't stop it. Never forget the same American shouting about the Democrat abroad has yet to deliver full justice to its own black citizens at home. Africa has no reason to follow that broken model. So, again, if you believed in Africa, must rise. Subscribe to the West Best Media. Share this podcast because the truth has to be revealed. And Africa, truth is that the chains are breaking. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.